At this time, I would like to introduce our speaker. Hopefully those of you do have a program, and if you see that bio, it is very, very impressive. I got a recommendation. We were looking for a speaker, and Mr. Eric Anderson's daughter, who's the first lieutenant at Fort Polk, Louisiana, she was with us last year, not yet last year, the year before last, because COVID, we didn't have the program last year. And she recommended Captain Justin Thompson. I contacted him, I told him to send me his resume. When I got that resume, I said, did you see that? And guess what? A native of Caddo Parish, Keithville, Louisiana. Yeah. You know, oftentimes we look far and long for someone to address us when we have exactly what we need here at home. And God, with all of the violence that's going on here today, I just wish that every one of these young people, every one of our students in high school could have an opportunity to see Captain Thompson's resume and hear him today. Coming from Caddo Parish, Shreveport, Louisiana. And you know the news that's emanating from here now. All negative. But this is what it's all about. I will not go into any more discussion at this time. I would like to welcome Captain Justin Thompson, our speaker.
All right, good morning, everyone. I think we got it figured out now, right? Y'all can everyone hear me? All right, I want to start by saying how grateful I am to be able to speak at such an impactful day and such an impactful event. With that being said, I want to give some special thank yous to those that made this possible. I want to thank God, who is first and foremost in my life, for the continuous blessings. Next, I want to thank Mr. Ken Epperson and my dear friend, Lieutenant Erica Anderson Jones, for inviting me out to speak today. Next, I want to thank my parents, James and Earlene Thompson, for their continued support of my career and my life. And then last and more importantly, I want to thank each and every one of you for being in attendance here today. Here in America, we have 3 days where we mainly recognize military service. We have Armed Forces Day, which is the third Saturday of every May, and that recognizes those that are currently serving at this time. And then for those that are serving, we hope to make it to this next day, which is Veterans Day, which is on November 11th, and it's in representation of those that have served. And then last and the most significant day of them all is Memorial Day, which is the last Monday of every May, and it is a representation of those that are no longer here with us and those that never had a chance to make it home. See, the act of paying respect to the fallen is a tradition that dates back to the Roman Empire. But here in America, before it was known as Memorial Day, it was known as Decorations Day, a tradition that started in the South during the Civil War, where citizens would pay respect to the fallen by decorating their graves. It would not be until the Uniform Service Act of 1968, which was approved by Congress and went into effect in 1970 under President Nixon, where we would have Memorial Day as we know it today as a federal holiday. I say all that to say this. As United States citizens, we are truly living in the land of the free and the home of the brave. But these freedoms and liberties that we enjoy today did not come without sacrifice. Before we became known as the greatest republic in the land, we as a nation had to go through conflict. Before we became known as one of the greatest superpowers on earth, we as a nation had to wage the wars of sin so that we may one day enjoy peace. With that being said, Memorial Day is more than just a day off work. It is more than just a day of barbecue. Memorial Day is a day of remembrance. It is a day where we spend with family. It is a day where, as a nation, we can understand why we fly our flag with such pride. And then more importantly, it is a day of recognition for our fallen heroes. See, we are in a time where people are looking for heroes. They are questioning, do heroes even exist? And my answer to this question is yes. These heroes come from every background. They came from every generation. They served in every rank from private to general. They served in every service component from Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. They came from every economic background, from being born extremely poor to being born into wealth. They come from various races and they come from various religions. But the one thing that ties them all together is the fact that they were brothers and sisters in arms. With that being said, Memorial Day is a day where we pay tribute to those that forged our history, those soldiers that we once knew and held dear to our heart, to those unknown soldiers who are only known by God. Memorial Day is a day where we continue to pay respect as America's longest war continues to this day and people are still making that ultimate sacrifice for us. See, one common attribute of those that served and those that are veterans and to those that are no longer here with us is they have an attribute of courage. Here in America, we have a popular quote when discussing courage, and that is, courage is not the absence of fear, but that courageous people are able to overcome and manage their fears so that it does not stop them from taking action. So those who stormed the beaches of Normandy during World War II to fight tyranny that was going on during the world, they had courage. Those who fought to keep a union together for a nation that wasn't even 100 years old at the time, they had courage. Those that were drafted and those that volunteered to fight during the Vietnam era so that the fight for democracy can continue had courage. And those that are out there to this day that are still fighting the ongoing war on terrorism, they have courage. And then lastly, anybody that was involved in any American conflict in the name of righteousness had courage. For those that are no longer here with us, they had a call of purpose. They had a call of duty. They had a love like none other. They had a sense of selfless service to where they would lay down their life on the line for people they don't know. That is what truly makes them the best of the best that we have in this nation. They answered a call when called by their nation. They went down a path that not many people are willing to go down. They went to unknown territories and they fought in some of the most unbearable conditions known to man. And for some, they did not get a chance to come home to their families. They did not get a chance to be recognized as veterans. So to those families that we have here in attendance today, I want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing them with us, and thank you for inspiring them. Your courage during such an unimaginable loss inspires us all. See, here as a young child growing up in Shreveport, Louisiana, I came up in a time where we said the Pledge of Allegiance. I came up in a time where we heard the national anthem before any major event. And then I as a child, had an understanding of the holidays that went on. But it wouldn't be until I served that I would understand the deeper meaning of what really was going on. Just like Mr. Ken Epperson, who come from a family of service, who served himself, who father served, who son served, and just like many of you, I come from a family of service. I come from a family where my dad served, both my grandpas served, uncles and aunties served, and to this day I get on the internet, I find out I still have younger cousins that are still enlisting and fighting to this day. With that being said, one of the pleasures that we get from service, and one of my favorite duties, is that of being a casualty assistance officer. For those that don't know, casualty assisting means that we help notify the family when a loved one transitions, and then we get the duty of helping that family with the transition of their loved one. Of such case would be that of Clayton Horn from Atlanta, Louisiana, who transitioned in 2019 doing what he does best, which was serving his nation. And these are the stories that go on and on. So as I bring this to a close, I challenge each and every one of you. I challenge you that as Monday approaches, that you take the time to have a moment of silence and remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice so that we can have these freedoms and liberties that we enjoy today. I'll walk off by saying this. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless our United States of America.